Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chu, and today I'm going to share with you 7 tips to improve your 808s. If that sounds like something you didn't mean to click onto, have no fear. If you will look to your right or down below, YouTube's got numerous suggestions that you'll be far more interested in. To my beautiful friends who remain, all of the mixer presets and drum samples used can be found down in the description below. This video is not an ad, so I pray that you enjoy it and learn something valuable from the workflow. If you have any questions, just comment them down below. Kick back, relax, and vibe out. All right, we need a sample. This hoe is hard. I could already tell this is the one. Okay, now I'm just gonna lay down a basic snare pattern so that we can begin to program our 808 around it. This shit is so hard, bro. Just okay, so tip number 1 I have for you is to try using 2 different 808s in your pattern. It can really help things sound more interesting. So the way I'm gonna do that today is I'm just gonna look for 2, at least, I would say 2. When I say 2, what I really mean is just more than 1. So it could be really, as long as you have more than 1, it could be 3, 4. Now, you don't wanna do it in a way that's too crazy. So the key with it really is taste and placement with everything. So first, let me find the 808s I want. So I kind of found that Z 808. And I think maybe I'll go with this one. So now that we have that, it's literally just program it. And that probably brings me to tip number 2, which is to space out your 808s. So the way I'm gonna do that is I'm literally just gonna put this on the one every bar, every 2 bars, yeah. So there'll be 4 of them total in an 8-bar sequence. And then we'll make those longer for now because I have to deal with these garbage loop points. It doesn't even matter. Loop points suck, bro. I hate loop points so much. Anyway. And that, I don't know if that's in key. Let's check. There we go. But then I'm also gonna wanna adjust the envelope because that'll be helpful when you're doing the 2 808 thing, just so they don't bleed over. And I'll go ahead and do this for this 808 as well too. So again, you really want stuff to be spaced out. So now that I have it like that so far, I'm just gonna make the notes longer so they at least go for those first 2 beats up to that snare hit. And then I'm gonna come program this second snare, and I'm just gonna kind of space it away from that first hit, and then we'll kind of have a little interplay between them where I kind of pick spots going back and forth until I have something that's nice bouncy, but again, it still has room to breathe and stuff like that. Ooh, I think I just thought of something I want to do that's crazy, bro. What if I do this stutter like this and then have it go up like that? That could sound crazy. Ooh, that's hard. All right, and then let me see. Yeah, but then this time slide it so those fills are different. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Make it like a little bit heavier with these pre-computed effects. The EQ is really what makes it shake. And then you can adjust the out so it's not so like, cause like tapering out that release makes it, basically the 808 transient is gonna go away faster. So it's like it is like a super like distorted way to present the signal of your 808, but that taper away kind of really helps. I noticed that. Okay, so from there, hang on, let me route these real quick. Okay, so tip number 3 is that once you have this simple bounce, you really want to program the rest of your drums, which shouldn't be that many crazy layers, honestly. My recommendation is always like less layers and then be intentional with them, but you want to program the rest of those layers around this bounce. Now you've got that like low end locked in, so now you just grab the rest of your drums and you start programming, and that's where you just have more fun basically. So that being said, I'm gonna look for, of course, you got to start with that hi-hat to get the bounce going, bro. Like I've been begging for it. I almost did it during that last step, but I had to hold off, bro. I was itching for that shit. So I'm about to load this in right now and then just program the 2-step. That's already rocking. And then the way I give my hi-hats more bounce, alternate the velocity like this so that it has like more of a bounce and more of a rhythm basically. And then from there, now that I have it duplicated over, I don't have to like keep doing that over and over again, and I can really lock in with like programming my hats if I want to. So then I'll just take a listen to see, is the 2-step good enough, keep it moving from there, or if I want to like maybe program some stuff. And honestly, what I'll do is I'll usually start with a 2-step, program some other drums, then come back and listen and then tweak stuff from there. So let's grab some other drums. Oh no. Oh, you know what? Snare has been going crazy for me lately. Low key. Yeah, it just sounds, has such good tonality, bro. I don't know what it is. Need swing though. Add some open hat perhaps. I hate loop points so much. Ah! All right, I think I want to take the out down on that, like all the way pretty much. And then maybe envelope it too, but give it like some release so that it kind of tapers out smoothly. Yeah. And then add some swing to that hoe. Add some swing to this too. Yeah. Push that into the clipper just a little bit. And bro, word to Cardo, you always gotta do it, bro. You already know what's about to happen if you know. And then we gonna add this too. But really, that's what I came for, bro. Something about it. If you really like the cowbell, you gotta use the cowbell more. It's calling to you in 2025. I'm telling you, bro. If you fuck with cowbell, then 2025 is your year of cowbell. Claim it, brother. But I'm gonna adjust that. Turn the shift up a little bit. Yeah. Loop points, brother. Where do I want to move this? Yeah. Add some effects to that. I think I have a preset from a kit that I'm working on. I'm just gonna drag that on, bro. It's just way easier. There we go. Okay, so tip number 4 I have for you is to fill in the space with more 808 if the beat calls for it. This is something I talked about on the guide I did a couple of days ago, and something I talked about a little bit earlier in this video. But basically, like, taste is an important thing, and you never want to just like be doing stuff for the sake of it. Have fun and go crazy, like wherever like you feel called to go crazy. Like, I'm not trying to tell you how to do stuff or how to police anything, but like at the same time, like I'm just saying it from the perspective of like, I know I used to feel like I should put more stuff in order for it to be good. It's like, because I used to not be able to perceive that it was actually like the producer's ability to play stuff well that made me think more was going on than what was really going on. And so I would hear really good beats and be like, oh, so I've got to do just a bunch of stuff until it sounds like that, where it was really more of just pulling back and pulling back. So I'm going into this step 4, tip number 4, of like looking for places to put a little bit more 808, but I'm really just trying to add to the bounce and add to the overall rhythm of the track and the overall vibe. If it doesn't add, I might just skip it entirely to let you know. This is just something I genuinely do throughout the workflow. And I feel like I kind of want to add a little bit more 808, even if it's just for spots where I might pull them back out for variation and arrangement and stuff like that. New arrangement guide coming, by the way, but let's jump into it. Yeah, I already know I'm going to want to add a little bit more of this Z808, so right away, like right here probably. Yeah, and I definitely don't want it to cut out like that. All right, cool. So now I'm gonna just see if we could fill in a little bit with that Buzzy Spins 808. right there. That's hard. Okay, so tip number 5 I have for you is to use subtle EQ movements on your 808 to just get it to fit a little bit better in the mix. And one of the best ways that I could probably demonstrate how to do this first movement is if tonal balance will show me if anything is wrong with this track so far, especially with the low end. So let's take a look. Yeah, so it's showing me a lot of power on the low end and then like a lot of compression on the low end as well, which is basically what these that indicator is doing. And then this is just the frequency distribution indicator and stuff like that. The best way to deal with that is just with EQ. So this preset already has neutron equalizers and fruity parametric EQ2s loaded out already, but I like the kind of saturation effect that the neutron EQ in particular has on like my low end sound. So that's what I'm going to use to EQ out some of that low end. So I'll show you how I do that right now. So just gonna bring it down. I tend not to go further than like, for the 808 for this, never further than like 50 hertz, but it usually doesn't even get up to that high. Usually somewhere in between like 28 and like 35 is usually where I stay. And as you can see, that increases the amount of gain that it's outputting. So if we bypass this, it's only hitting around like -6, -5. Turn it on, it's gonna go up to, and that just happens because of the way it changes the sound. It kind of makes it present as something that's louder, so you're gonna have to go back and level that. But that's just gonna allow it to sit better in the mix. And especially that's gonna be important when people play it back. It's not gonna be, the low end's not gonna be muddying like other frequencies. It's not gonna be, you know, making shit sound like shit basically. All right, then let's come do the same thing for the spins basically. And now we can come into tonal balance and start taking a look from there. And the cool thing about tonal balance is you can EQ from there as well. It's like really, really cool. Yeah, just a little bit. Gotta level it back in. Then we can add an equalizer to the master as well. Name that master. Kind of balance out the rest of the track as well. Come back into tonal balance and head over to that master EQ. And that'll help the presence of our 808 a lot just in general. And that just looks really nice. Push that gain a little bit more now because it's so clean. Okay, so tip number 6 is to sidechain your big drums to your 808. And so in order to really fully demonstrate this, I have to add a kick to the beat. So I might end up taking the kick out for the final beat or leaving it if it really does serve the beat, which now that I think about it, it might actually make this mug hit even harder. So I'm actually excited to see. But it's also because I could show you how this will be helpful for the snare, but the kick really helps drive the point home. So let's find a kick, and you know I'm gonna go for that rat kick, bro. It just sits so clean with these industry 808s, bro. It's like they were made for each other. So I'm just gonna have it hitting in some pretty basic spots. That shit sounded kind of hard, bro. I can't even lie to you. It's hard. And I like to do a very similar kind of low end EQ to my rat kick especially. A lot of my kicks I'll do this, most of them, but especially the rat kick, and I'll kind of show you what I do. Like never more than like probably 29, especially for the kick, and I'm really subtle with this. One thing to note is I never use like a very hard cut. So no high pass or low pass, it's always a high shelf, low shelf analog. So clean, bro. So from here, in order to make this like super easy for myself, because I don't feel like sidechaining to 2 separate tracks, I'm just gonna route all the 808s, which is only 2, to 1 track. And then what I'm gonna do is then route my big drums to 1 track as well. So this is the 808 track, and I'm gonna send the big drums to 1 track as well, so that like this sidechaining workflow doesn't get to be ridiculous, because that would suck so much. So steal this if you have trouble with that, because this will be very helpful. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna then sidechain the big drums to the track where the the 808s are. And you could do this if you just wanted to do the kick. You would just sidechain the kick to the 808, or you sidechain the clap to the 808 or whatever. And so I'm doing this so that my clap and my kick really cut through the mix without clashing with the 808, and that's just gonna make shit hit even harder, and you're gonna see how that works out in a second. But as you can see, this workflow that I'm setting up here is kind of like what I have going on in this template. So wherever you can get my templates, this video is not supposed to be an ad, but wherever you can get my templates free or paid, get them, because they're really helpful, or design them like this. The workflow is pretty simple if you really just look at it, copy it, get them and copy it, like whatever, just like do it, you know what I'm saying? Because like I could get into saying how you could sidechain the kick to the hi-hat, or you could sidechain the kick to the melody, the clap to the melody, and stuff like that. But for the sake of keeping this video simple, I'll just show you how to do it with the 808. And in my own time, I'm gonna mix this correctly the way I really want it to, although this mix is already hitting super hard. So again, we already have it sidechained, right? So then from there, you just open a limiter on the thing that you want to sidechain, a fruity limiter. Then you go to the compressor and you right click that sidechain portal or whatever, and then you go to the thing that you want to be like sidechaining the signal. So in this case, we're gonna select big drums. And then the first thing you need to do is set a ratio, because that's gonna actually turn on the compression. Otherwise, you could tweak the settings forever and nothing's gonna happen. And so the ratio just determines that for every one amount of gain that hits into the threshold, the compressor is going to reduce the gain of the thing that's supposed to be compressed or sidechain compressed by some amount of gain. So in this case, we have it set to 2:1. So the way it works here is that for every 1 decibel of gain that the kick sends into the compressor on the 808, it's gonna duck the signal of the 808 by 2 decibels basically. So very simple way to explain it. It's still really wonky. You don't really need to learn it that deeply. If you just kind of learn how to feel it, that's probably the best way to do it, honestly. But then from there, you just reduce your threshold, and you can literally see and hear how it's beginning to reduce that signal. Then you start to tweak it. Release controls when it comes on, attack, or when it comes off. Attack controls when it comes on. Since I want it to come on immediately, I always have that attack set to 0 milliseconds. But you know, if we wanted to delay it, we could turn it up, and it's like coming in a little bit later, but I want it to be like super quick, so I'm gonna let it come in immediately. And if you want a super cheat code for setting really good release times on your compressors and delays, just divide the amount of milliseconds in a minute by your tempo, and then divide by the amount of beats you want to like sidechain or set your delay to. So it could be 4 beats, it could be 8 beats. So for this, I'm going to do 4 beats, and then I'm going to demonstrate the equation right now. What is 60,000 divided by 130 divided by 4?
It's approximately 115.3846.
So 115 is going to give me like the quarter note sidechain basically. And you could do that for delay or anything else that has like release settings if you wanted to sync it, if your thing didn't have like a sync setting. So I'm going to do 115, and then if I wanted a quarter note, I would just cut 115 in half. And then again, it's still going to be like a thing you can feel your way around. That's not a hard and fast rule, but it is like pretty consistent for me, especially when I want to lock in like certain things. But then the sauce is really setting your ratio, because setting too much ratio makes it sound too unnatural. So you want it to sound transparent, so you got to be like subtle and tasteful with your ratio, bro. Your threshold too, but really I learned it's the ratio, bro. Ooh. Listen to that punch, bro. It gives it that Punchington, bro. You know, like you put the grabber in the shit, bro, because you don't have to. It gives it that Punchington, bro. It's the same thing with the sidechain. You ain't got to, but you roll your J with the grabber in it. It's going to give it that punch. If you know, you know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't even worry about it, bro. Like, let's bypass test it, right? It's off right now. It's still hitting, right? It's still, don't get me wrong, it's knocking, especially with that clipper on the top, bro. It's going crazy. But listen to it with the sidechain, bro. Now it's on. Like even the snare be cut in through a little bit cleaner. It's like you could do that for the melody. I could do it for the hats. That's usually why I have this very robust signal flow kind of set up for my templates and stuff like that. I've got like a bunch of them. Again, do check them out. They're really cool. But yeah, I like mixing a lot, as you could tell. Okay. So tip number 7 I have for you is to heat the low end. So this gets into like adding effects like saturation or distortion, or what I prefer to do is really just more EQ to kind of like adjust the flavor of your 808s, kind of like adding seasoning to it. Again, this is one of those things where it's like, it's not really a hard and fast rule, but I do like to test it from like a sound design perspective. Just like to see like what like adding various effects to my 808s can do. So for this, I'm gonna go again back to that pack that I'm working on, and there's actually a bus setting, presets, and go to, where is it? Tonal bus right here. No, is it this? Yes, it is. And we're gonna go to that 808 track that we had, that like the composition track, and we're gonna add it on there and see how that sounds. All right, let's turn it on. That house sound kind of tough, but it's like, I don't really like how it's changed the sound, right? So maybe I could try to mix it and see. But the signal that's being sent in isn't even that hot. Oh, it's kind of hot. Let's see if we could pull it out. It was kind of hot, so let's see. That sounded kind of good, I can't lie. Now let's bypass test it. It kind of compressed them a lot, but I'm gonna see if it sounds good in context. Let's see. All right, let's bypass test it in context now. I kind of like it, bro. I kind of like it. It's a sound design decision at the end of the day too, truly. Maybe it's because the treble is super up. Yeah, because the treble is all the way up. But still, like even if we bypass test it now. Now that treble be helping. I like that treble in it, bro. Maybe less of it than there was there before. So those are my 7 808 tips. Let me know what you think down below. If you enjoyed them, let me know what you thought was your favorite. And if you didn't enjoy it, go away. Don't let me know. I hope to see you the next one, whether that's tomorrow or a year from now. I pray that you'll be cooking up between now and then. Blessings be upon you, my friend. Peace.